JFK is an American-French movie by Oliver Stone from 1991. The $40 million production with an R rating made over $200 million worldwide back and was a success with audiences and critics. He plays 1966, 3 years after the Kennedy assassination, and shows District Attorney Jim Garrison, who does not believe the official one-shooter theory and reopens the case. The movie was adapted from Garrison's 1988 book On the Trail of the Assassins and Jim Ma's 1989 book Crossfire: The Plot That Killed Kennedy. Oliver Stone, who also wrote on the script, described his project as a great detective movie with inspiration from Rashomon and Z. Rashomon is a Japanese movie from 1950 by director genius Akira Kurosawa. The brilliant masterpiece is about a crime that is differently retold by everyone involved, the so-called Rashomon effect, that caused philosophical discussions about the existence of objective reality. Z, Greek for He Lives, is a French-Algerian movie from 1969 after Vasily Vasiliko's 1966 same-named book based on the Greek Lambrakis affair from 1963, in which the solving of the murder of a left-wing politician took years, delayed and prevented from the higher-ups.
Outside was a happy place. Every face had a smile like a golden face. For a second, your knuckles white as your fingers curl. The shot that was heard around the world. For a second, it took seconds of your time to take his life. It took seconds. It took seconds of your time to take his life. It took seconds.
The movie from director Konstantin Costa-Gavras was made during the Greek military dictatorship 1967 to 1974. He is regarded as a genre-forming classic of politically committed cinema. The masterpiece plays in an unnamed state and shows the attempt to solve the murder of a NATO-critical politician, which gets abstracted from every side. It ends with the final takeover of the military. The shown developments are very similar to what we have been experiencing here worldwide since 2020. A police state is created under some pretext without an alleged pandemic whatsoever. With curfews, a ban on demonstrations, an unified press under state control, general censorship and state thugs like Antifa, in which, similar to the movie, opposition and critics are intimidated or eliminated, with us strange deaths of non-compliant politicians, baseless house searches of real doctors, real journalists, and even judges if they refuse to bend or break the law. Massive censorship by the Ministry of Truth, destruction of livelihood through the obviously ordered by the state, cancellation of bank accounts, and so on. 1962, John Frankenheimer's The Manchurian Candidate appears. It is based on Richard Condon's 1959 same-named book about an US soldier who comes home from the Korea War and acts thanks to post-hypnosis as a killer for communist backers to infiltrate the government. This boring, nonsensical propaganda flick in which nobody acts for a second naturally or comprehensible gained its fame only after the Kennedy assassination in the following year. Critics, which gave the Snorfest almost absurd high ratings, were presumably themselves under post-hypnosis and out of their minds.
It took seconds of your time to take
In 2004, Jonathan Demm's same-named remake made, in spite of positive reviews, just a little more than its $80 million budget worldwide back, and was a flop. He moves the story to the present, with Gulf War instead of Korea War, and big companies as bad guys. The movie is very well done, has a fast pace and is excellent cast. He corrects many weaknesses and inconsistencies of the past by using a very good screenplay and a highly intelligent story that at least makes sense. Today more relevant than ever.
It took seconds of your time to take his life. It took seconds. It took seconds of your time to take his life. It took seconds.
In 1973, David Miller's executive action had no luck in cinemas. The story is told entirely from the perspective of the extreme right-wing industrials, which get Kennedy killed and put the murder on Oswald to save their war economy. The passable movie uses a lot of original material and is partially based on Mark Lane's 1966 bestseller Rush to Judgment, which questions the results of the Warren Commission. When the movie came out, he got moderate to negative reviews. The trailer was banned by some TV stations and he quickly disappeared from theaters. In 1974, Alan J. Pakula's The Parallax View is based on Lawrence Singer's same-named book from 1970. The movie is between Clued from 1971 and All the President's Men from 1976, the second in Pakula's Paranoia trilogy. A journalist witnesses the public assassination of a presidential candidate and has doubts about the official theory. 3 years later, many of the other witnesses are for reasons dead. When he begins to research, he has to fear for his own life.
Seconds of your time to take.
The exciting, very well-made thriller obviously has parallels to the Kennedy murder and the unsatisfactory results of the Warren Commission. The movie had no success in the cinema and got some negative criticism. That got better over the time, today rightly regarded as one of the best on this subject.
For a second.
1979, Henry Verneuil's brilliant masterpiece I, as in Icarus, appeared. The French movie takes place in a fictional western state. The plot is based on the Kennedy assassination and the subsequent investigation. The fictional prosecutor comes to the same conclusion as the real-life one. The president was murdered by the Secret Service with the help of the mafia. In addition, there are some details and famous elements of the Kennedy case, such as the umbrella man, the fake Oswald photo, the mysterious disappearance of witnesses, an amateur film as the only source of pictures, and, by showing the famous Milgram experiment, a demonstration of the obedience of the individual against representatives of authority. More on that in the wave.
It took seconds of your time to take his life. It took seconds. For a second. It took seconds of your time to take his life. Seconds of your time to take his life. For a second. For a second. For a second.
Three years after the assassination, District Attorney Jim Garrison reopens the case with his investigators and tries to find out what really happened. In the end, he leads a trial against a suspect with the accusation of conspiring to murder the president. The extremely exciting movie is very well cast and follows not just one, but several possible scenarios. He blends seamless facts and speculation, which is rightly criticized by some as a credibility minus. Of course, he cannot solve the case. And why should he? In fact, he serves more like Z and I, as in Icarus, for thought-provoking, and as a warning not to blindly trust authorities and to be aware of the deep state.